Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I played it on the PS4, it's also available on the Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So let's start with the story. You play as a character named Miriam. She is a shardbinder, which means she has a crystal in her that allows her to absorb abilities from monsters and the like. Her and some of her compatriots are traveling to a castle that demons are just pouring out of, because it's not like a normal castle, it's a castle that has been summoned there. Fortunately for you, you know who it is, but unfortunately for Miriam, it is her old friend Giebel, and I mean literally they were old friends. And one thing I'm going to say about the story is I really love the story in this game. I like that there's more to it than there have been in a lot of other side-scrolling games, and I also love that there are a bunch of side stories that attach to it. There are other characters like Zangetsu who appear, and they all have their own thing going on, and I really enjoyed that because it made the game even more interesting. Next up, the audio. I like the audio in this game. I've got to say the voiceover is not the greatest, but it's also not horrible. There are a few times where I felt a bit more emotion could have been used, but overall I think it was well delivered. As for the music and the sound effects, the music in this game is excellent. It has kind of an old school vibe, but without being all beep and boop of like really retro shit. As for the sound effects, I think they work very well in this game. They help build and create a much more fulfilling world. From your attacks, the monsters' attacks, the sound of just the world you're in, I think they do a good job in this game. As for the gameplay mechanics, this is a spiritual successor to Castlevania. That is what it is. It's a side-scrolling action RPG. You level up weapons, you level up abilities, you do all of that. You explore a really quite big map. You gain new abilities that allow you to explore new areas of the map, and I just really enjoy that. I've always liked that style of game, and I think they do an even better job in this game than a lot of other ones because there's a huge selection of abilities, a huge selection of weapons, a huge selection of outfits, which do actually affect your stats, and you can really customize all of that in order to fit your own play style, and I really enjoy that about this game. I think it's cool that your character defeats enemies and absorbs abilities from those enemies. I think that's a neat way of going about that. Just overall, I really enjoyed the gameplay of this game. As for the controls, I think the controls are very well done in this game. They are very responsive. I didn't run into any real issues with that I can think of. I personally picked the PS4 because I really like the D-pad on the PS4, so I think that worked very well with this style of game. I also liked the way the controller was mapped. I think all the buttons worked well for what you were trying to do. You never felt like you were trying to push a variety of buttons in an uncomfortable manner. Which may sound silly, but there are definitely games that do that. Then lastly, the graphics. I think this is a beautiful game. They really impressed me with the art style. Obviously, it's not a hyper-realistic game, so I'm not looking for that from this game, but I did get exactly what I wanted, which is a beautiful side-scrolling adventure with updated visuals. I personally really didn't like the first game that much because I'm not a big fan of that retro bullshit look. We can do better than that. Even indie games can do better than that. We have seen it. But in this game, they do that. Your character looks wonderful. They have a really cool design and it's brightly colored. I like all the creature designs. I like the world. I like all the different regions in the castle. I just think they did an excellent job visually bringing this game to life. So to wrap this up, I think it's pretty obvious that I enjoyed myself playing this game. I really do enjoy the side-scrolling games. I'm just not a huge fan of the overly retro vibe that people tend to attach to them. And that's one thing I love about this game is that they moved away from that. While it fully embraces and truly is a spiritual successor to Castlevania, it doesn't do the beeps and boops. It doesn't do the old overly pixelated shit. It fully embraces what the consoles are capable of now, and it fully embraces the tools that indie devs have access to. I know I've been doing a lot of Castlevania stuff. I do find it kind of truly sad that this is the best Castlevania game I've played, and it's a spiritual successor, rather than a real Castlevania game. But that being said, I fully recommend it. It's not a full price game. I think it's like a $40 game, and that is worth every penny. I'm really enjoying it. I've sunk a lot of time into it because I just enjoy playing it. Fully recommended. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me what your favorite Castlevania knockoff is? Not that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is actually a knockoff, but whatever. And as always, Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.